This segment's being sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife. All right, guys, this next segment's being brought to you by our friends over at Taylor's Archery. You guys can find them at 100 East Lauderdale Street in Tullahoma, Tennessee, or give owner Tracy Taylor a call at 931-563-7706 and let him take care of all your archery needs. They've got a beautiful indoor range there, full stock supplies, and those guys can set your bow up any way you need it and get you ready to go. All right, welcome back to the studio. You guys can call us now, 615-737-7767. Any questions or comments you may have for any of these guys up here, give us a call and pick their brain a little bit. We've actually already got a caller here, so we're going to jump onto that. And we have got Lark. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I was wondering, back in the fall, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Back in the fall, you had some guys from Kentucky that had some kind of a fog for a cover scent for deer. And I was wondering about some way of getting a hold of them.
Sure. That would have been Feedy Greedy, and they are out of Kentucky. I believe Scottsville, if I'm saying that right. Either way, they're in Kentucky, and it is called Feedy Greedy. And you can find them on Facebook. I believe they also have a website. If you were to Google it, should pull that up. Real good guys. Jonathan Sidner is our contact there. You would probably talk to him when you contact them. But Feedy Greedy are those products. They make the fog, and they also have some minerals and several other products as well.
That's cool.
Okay, thank you. I just turned it on and got in on the end of it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, reach out to them, and if you will, just let them know you saw it on here.
Okay, thank you so much. I sure appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you calling. Have a great night.
You too.
Yeah, that's reaching on back there.
Sure.
But they were great products, and we used them probably 3/4 of last season.
Right.
And
awesome.
that fog he's talking about is pretty cool. Getting back to this weekend. We're going to go ahead and tell y'all now too, here in a little bit, we're going to be doing a little giveaway. I say a little giveaway, it kind of turned into a big giveaway.
Yeah.
So I just want y'all to know to be ready to call for that later, not right now. Call now for any of your comments or questions. But PB, we're going to be doing an entry to the Frostbite tournament tonight.
Yes.
And Tristan has got 3 packs of these Bass Reaper baits and a lure lock box. Yep. And all that is going to be given away here in just a little while at the end of segment 4. So right now, keep your phones ready, call us with your comments, but I just wanted y'all to know that so you'll be ready to call for that later. Looking forward to that. Dayton, you like to throw swim baits. Let's talk about swim baits for just a minute.
Just a good buddy of mine, Austin Meeks, makes these. They're game day lures. These are some great product. It's right here made locally, packaged good, a real fine quality product. He makes crawls, swim baits. Y'all give him a good shout out and look him up at Game Day Lures.
Now, how are you usually fishing this, Dayton? Tell me about your...
Well, it's going to be the size head and hook mostly. You're going to go 1/2 ounce, mostly on 20. If you're going to fish shallower, you can get away with a 3/8 or 1/4.
Yeah.
But 3/4 isn't bad.
Yep.
You know, just depends on where they're at.
Can I tell on you for a minute?
No.
I was hoping we might get into something else you do with them swim baits.
Sauger fish?
No, but I know a guy, his initials are Dayton Blair, that'll take a swim bait and put them on a buzz bait.
That's right. Yep.
And fish that swim bait under a buzz bait, take the skirt off of it.
There's a couple of different ways that I do that.
You've caught a lot of fish that way in the spring.
You know, they finally started making them about 4 years. You know, they started making frogs and ribbits and already made buzz baits. Well, I always throw hoppies. Hoppies is my favorite lure as far as the buzz baits go. Yeah. And man, you just take the skirts off and put whatever color swim bait you like.
Yeah.
It casts further, less wind drag, and use super glue. You want to super glue these on because when you go to throwing it, they'll slide down. I prefer super glue on everything, even my crappie tubes or my crappie heads.
For sure.
Because I can take and go through a whole pack of crappie tubes or like the little magnets in an hour and a half. If you glue it on, you don't never lose it.
You use it all evening.
You use it all evening.
We got some more callers here. Nikki, how are you doing?
Doing just fine.
We appreciate you calling. How can we help you tonight?
I just want to pick somebody's brain about crappie fishing. I eat crappie fish all the time, and I've been fishing Chickamauga some, and we've been catching them about 5 or 6 foot deep.
Okay. Well, we do a lot of crappie fishing, but Dayton has actually been crappie fishing the last couple of days.
I've been the last 2 days, and day before yesterday I caught them in a foot of water. They were actually not even 18 inches deep. And then I caught them today probably 3.5 feet deep, and I'll show you while I got you on the phone. A lot of people don't know this, but they make a Mr. Crappie rattling float. I'm going to give you a little example. This here is probably 2.5 foot, maybe 3. You can adjust the float to whatever depth, but yesterday I was literally catching them that deep. The lake was froze 7 days ago, and the fish are literally plumb right up on the bank. They're in a foot of water, but I would go in the back of the creeks. I'm not telling you that the river channels and the main lake still ain't full of crappie, because they are. But the easier and more aggressive ones are fixing to go up in these creeks after this rain. That's exactly where I caught those, was in muddy water. I didn't catch any of those crappie in clear water. It was muddy.
Well, no, I've been catching them in Chickamauga. We hit Great Falls the other day, and we picked up about 7 mares, never got a nibble. I thought, uh-oh.
Yeah, you know, they may have moved on up down there. They may be working their way up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like today, I was fishing around some people, and they were throwing, you know, trying to throw 30 yards out, and only fishing way out there. Well, the whole time, they're not really watching me, and I'm literally casting down beside the bank. I'm not necessarily throwing out in the deep. I want to maintain that 3 and 5 feet of water as long as I can. I don't want to come from the 12 to 8 to 6 to 3 if I can throw and drag 6 foot all the time. These I catch off the bank. This is not a boat. I'm catching these off the bank early in the mornings and late in the evenings. But they are in the creeks, strictly in a creek.
Well, that's what we caught them in Chickamauga, was in the creek.
Yep.
I hadn't been able to get on the rest of them.
Well, that'll probably be what's going on after these last few warm days. Everything's fixing to really turn on.
All right, I thank you very much. And I'll thank Brandon for putting on a good show.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for calling. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
All right, who we have on 3? Sorry, that took a second there, guys. Kurt, how are you doing?
Thank you very much.
Can you hit? Let's try that again. Kurt, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing good. We appreciate you calling. How can we help you tonight?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to talk about the Smoke Creek rods that's sitting there by Tristan.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And see what your favorite rod he got on the Smoke Creek rod.
All right.
Well, the Smoke Creek, you know, is an absolute awesome rod. I absolutely love these rods. My favorite rod, just, you know, good all-around, good length rod, is a 7.3 medium heavy. You can do anything from throw chatterbait, trap, jig. I mean, you can do it all. That's the best all-purpose round rod, in my opinion. And I have a lot of 7.3 heavies and medium heavies.
And now, what is this one sitting right here tonight with you?
That's actually I think it's a 7-foot medium.
Okay. And there's something significant about this one. While we got you on the phone here, this coming week, next Thursday night, you'll have a chance to call and win this Smoke Creek rod.
Yep.
So just keep that in mind.
I'm on the pro staff. Well, I'm on the pro staff for Smoke Creek rods.
Hey, you're not allowed.
You're not eligible.
not eligible. So,
well, Dayton can't win it either. Dayton don't need to win it either.
Well, we always make sure he just don't go take a bathroom break before the call-in or something.
That's what I was trying to. Well, what I usually do is just break the tip off a little bit and put another eye, and they don't really want it then.
That's right.
That's right. Well, hey, we appreciate you calling.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Have a great night.
Bye.
So, 7'3". That's kind of, if you couldn't have anything else, one rod.
It's a good versatile rod. You can do anything with it. You know, and I tell people that a lot because there's so many different lengths of rods. You got 6.6, 7s, you know, 7.11s. So, I mean, a 7.3 is just a good all-around purpose rod.
Yeah.
And you know, it takes a lot of people to make tournaments like PB have and like my winter series. You've got to have sponsors.
Yeah.
And you've got to have people you can depend on, like John Causey at Jayco Marine and the White Blue at American Jewelry. Chris Arnott Insurance Agency.
Yeah, USS.
I mean,
without them, I mean, that's just like
that's what it takes. I mean, you have got to have that, and they depend on us also.
A lot of people don't realize that, how big a sponsor really is.
I mean, it's one of the major deals, and when you get that, you don't want to lose it. You want to do what you can to maintain and take them people, and y'all go visit them. Once you see our sponsors on the show, call them. Go look at their products and see what they got, and look at PB sponsors and tell them thank you. Just like our sponsors.
Because they give their time, their money, you know, not just to us, but to our sport, to what we love, and to the betterment of that.
And I mean, they're taking money out of their businesses and their own pockets to give us to do this.
You couldn't do it without them, for sure.
No.
That's right.
And everybody misses out on how important that is when you do pick up a sponsor, man. Don't just kick them to the wayside. Like, you know, try to take care of them.
And I want to double up on what he said. 2020 was a rough year for people losing their jobs, companies losing money, and for them to step up the way they have for us this year, we really appreciate it. So we thank you all. Now, I know I'm not a NASCAR person, I can name off all of them for you, but everyone who sponsored us this year, we really appreciate it.
Sound like an auctioneer.
That's right.
Well, guys, we're going to get ready to go on over and do this week's tip of the week. It's being sponsored by our friend at Phoenix Custom Quality Rods. Y'all can find them at phoenixrods.com. Or here in the state of Tennessee. Call Mr. Jim Brewer at 931-213-1455 and let Jim take care of all your Phoenix rod needs. All right, now going back down to PV, you've got a tip for us tonight.
Oh gosh, I got one. My tip of the week is going to be tip for the season. It's called being courtesy to anglers and hunters. You know, a lot of the hunters, they probably don't know what I'm talking about, but but the anglers out there, fishing get ready to start, and everybody think they got a spot on the lake, and if you pull up too close to them, they want to fight you. So just give them a little courtesy. Usually most guys will say, "Can I come in on you?" And if you don't want to, if you say no, I guess most of the time they'll move on. But I've run into a lot of problems with that, and usually I just move on. And I ran into a particular problem back in the fall of last year. We was fishing a tournament on Pickwick, and it was the Toyota team's owners tournament. And we pulled up to Kroger Island, and if anybody's familiar with Pickwick, y'all know where Kroger Island's at. Well, there was a couple of guys that was on the bank, and they was hunters, and they had their little geese, artificial geese out in the water. I'm not a hunter fan, but we pulled up on the spot because the day before we had found some fish there. So I thought, well, that's where we'll start. Well, I heard some geese come flying over, and I looked up. They was really up high, I didn't have no chance to land, and they just went on by. So a few seconds later, a gunshot went over. Boom! A few seconds later, we just heard splashes of buckshots around the boat. So we thought, well, maybe they was shooting, just for the heck of it, just because they was bored. A few minutes later, another shot got over. Boom! And the buckshots were getting closer to the boat. I said, man, I think they shooting at us, And surely they were. They were shooting at us, so we just moved on out,
Just show some courtesy. There's water out there for everybody. It ain't just for you. And just to add a little bit to what you said, make that courtesy bleed into the boat ramp, rope ramp area. Let's watch our courtesy there and our boat ramp etiquette. Guys, sometimes there's a lot of people got to get in and out of the water. And it's just part of it. You got to be patient, do your thing. That's right. That's a good place to meet friends or make enemies.
Right. Everybody's boating skill set ain't the same.
That's right. That's right. Well, guys, we're going to get ready to take another quick break, and we'll be back here in just a minute with some more Southern Woods and Waters.